Hello all, this is Anis with you. Welcome to my channel. From this video, we are going to learn about .NET 6. At first, we will see what is .NET 6. Then after, we will go through what are the main changes in the Visual Studio 2022. After that, we will create a Hello World MVC app in .NET 6 using Visual Studio 2022. Then we will create a Database First CRUD in .NET 6 using Visual Studio 2022. After that, we will create a Code First CRUD in .NET 6. Then finally, we will see what are the options available to migrate the .NET 5 or .NET Core 3.1 projects to .NET 6. That sounds like a plan, isn't it? So stay with me for a while. Let's rock. After seeing the features and changes of .NET 6, we will be creating a Database First CRUD in the .NET 6 platform. Let's see the demo of the application which we are going to create in this video. This application is full-featured with search and pagination, and this is the first application of .NET 6 in our channel. So I tried to spend good time and covered maximum of it. After that, I have also provided the download URL of this application. So download it and enjoy the source code. Okay, now let's continue seeing the .NET 6 features and changes. With the release of .NET 6, Microsoft consolidates its plan to create a unified platform to develop applications. That means one development platform for any device and operating system. Together with this vision, .NET 6 brings many new features aiming to simplify development and gain performance. Let's take a quick look at the main points. Unified platform support. The vision of a unified platform for the .NET world started with .NET 5. That's why they renamed .NET Core as .NET 5 and no more .NET Framework. I mean Windows only framework will be released. .NET 5 meant to be the unified successor of the various .NET flavors, .NET Framework, .NET Standard, .NET Core and .NET Mono, etc. Beyond this goal, .NET 5 wanted to be a development platform to create any kind of application for any platform. With .NET 6, you can really create the application you want and run it practically everywhere, from desktop to mobile and from the web to the cloud. Again, this is Microsoft promise and not mine. I am still having a lot of doubts on the capabilities of .NET 6. Okay, now let's see the changes in .NET 6 and Visual Studio 2022. First change, global usings. .NET 6, you can declare namespaces using a global using keyword in program.cs or in a separate global using.cs file. For example, like global using system or whatever namespaces you want. Let's create a Hello World application to check this feature. So start Visual Studio 2022, then click the Create New Project. Then wait for the project templates to get loaded. It may take some time, depends upon your system RAM and CPU power. Actually, I wanted to remind you, Visual Studio 2022 takes lots of RAM and needs to be optimized. Visual Studio 2022 is not like Visual Studio 2019. In fact, I prefer to stay with Visual Studio 2019, but we must upgrade to stay in this field to move on. So, if your system become very slow, just add some additional memory to your system, but upgrade to the latest technology. Otherwise, you will be left behind. After that, select the ASP.NET Core web app in model, view and controller pattern. Notice here, it still shows as .NET Core only. So, .NET 6 is nothing but .NET Core only. Now click Next. And in here, let's type Hello World as the project name. And then enter the path to save the project and press the Next button to proceed on. Then in this screen, select the .NET 6 which is on long-term support and click the create button. Okay, now the project is created. Notice the startup.cs file is missing. Yes, in .NET 6 there is no startup file. All contents which used to be in startup file will be added to the program.cs file. Actually, it is a very good decision of Microsoft to merge startup.cs and program.cs as one file. But still, if you wanted to have a separate startup.cs file for some reason, go ahead and have it. Visual Studio 2022 supports that also. Okay, let's come to the global using feature. Open the home controller.cs file and from here select and cut all the lines of the using namespaces section. Then after, open the program.cs and paste the copied text from the clipboard to here. After that, add the keyword global before the using keyword for all the using lines. Then open the home controller.cs file and notice all the error indicators are disappeared. Then let's build the application. Wow, it got built successfully. So hereafter we don't want to have a half a page of namespaces in every file. It really makes the source code messy and lengthy, but now you can keep your source code clean and compact. So I welcome this feature. Then the next change is implicit usings. Implicit usings are nothing but the global usings which are added automatically by the Visual Studio 2022 to a hidden file for us. First, right click the Hello World project file and then select the menu Edit Project File and click it. Now our project is loaded as a XML file. Here notice the implicit usings are set to enable flag. That means implicit usings are enabled by default. So the hidden file also might be created. Let's find the hidden file. Yes, found the file. This file is located at the debug folder which is inside the obj folder and will have the name as your project name .globalusings.g.c. Now let's right click the file and open this file in the notepad. Notice here Visual Studio 2022 had added all the default and required namespaces to this file and made those namespaces available for all the files of the project. Then the next important change is new namespace syntax. From .NET 6, the namespace does not need the parentheses. This is a very useful feature addition. I like it very much. To check this feature, let's change the namespace syntax for the errorViewModel.cs to the new format. After that, open the program.cs file and cut the hello world.models namespace from the global using. Then open the home controller.cs. Notice we can see the error indicator line under the errorViewModel class creation line. Now in the home controller.cs, paste the namespace which we cut from the program.cs and change the scope of the namespace to file scope. Notice the error indicator has disappeared from the ErrorViewModel now. So from this we can prove that the new namespace syntax is working fine. Then after, let's move back the hello world.models namespace to the program.cs file and change the scope of the namespace to global. Again, let's open and check the home controller.cs file. Yes, it is fine. No errors found in it. So the new namespace syntax is working fine. Hello all, making YouTube video takes lot of time and efforts. But all these efforts should have a meaning. So please like, comment and share this video. Thanks a lot. Let's continue to the tutorial. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon to get notified. Next important feature is hot reload feature. In Visual Studio 2022 we have got a very nice feature called hot reload. Actually this was there on VB6 and VB5. By the way, anyone has worked on VB6 or VB5? Those days we had horrible technologies like COM, COM+, DCOM, etc. It was really a nightmare working with DCOM. I had done many projects on DCOM. It was complicated but still manageable. Okay, let's come back to the hot reload feature. Hot reload is a feature which allows you to change the codes while the app is still running. This is a very useful feature for debugging the logical errors. Let's see this in a demo. I have opened the home controller.cs. In here, notice the staff ID I have set it to 9084. Let's run the application and verify it first. Notice the page title, the staff ID is shown as 9084. Now I am going to change the staff ID to some other number without stopping the application. So go to the home controller.cs again and change the staff ID to some number. I changed it to 1258. After that, click the reload button. Notice the output screen, the staff ID got changed to 1258. So the important thing here is we have not stopped the app. This will be very useful during the development time. We will see more about this feature during the actual application development. And then other important change in .NET 6 is removal of startup.cs. Microsoft has removed the startup.cs file from .NET 6 and this has made many programmers to confuse a lot. But nothing to worry at all about it. Actually speaking, it is not removed. It is moved to and merged with the program.cs. And Microsoft has also given an option for us to have startup.cs file in our project. In case if this bothers you too much, then you can have startup.cs file as before and it will still compile and run in the .NET 6. Okay, now let's convert this Hello World application to a database first CRUD so that I can show you how to add DBContext and other stuffs without startup.cs file. So please stay online. First of all, we should know what is database first approach. Database first approach means we design our database tables first and then we start building the project. But why do we need database first approach? Database first approach is the traditional methodology which is being used by the programmers from long time. Database first approach solves many issues in the database level itself and it helps to finalize most of the objectives of the project in the database first level itself. And in many cases, we may need to work on the existing database to add features of the existing program. Let's see a database with some tables. This is our database, DBFirst CRUD 2022. This has 3 tables, categories, customers and products. This customers table has over 12,000 records. Now a requirement has come to create a user interface in MVC platform to edit the customers data. This is because the old software is not working properly and the company which developed the software gone bankrupt. So the client approached us to create a wrapper interface to manage the customer module without disturbing the existing software. Now we have only one option left, that is to create a DBFirst CRUD to manage the customer data. So let's do it. First, click the NuGet Package Manager and select Manage NuGet Packages for Solution. Then click Browse and enter EFCore for SQL Server in the search box and hit Enter. Now select Microsoft.EntityFramework Core.SQL Server. Notice the version. We are installing the 6.0 of the EFCore because we are doing this project in .NET 6. Then give OK if you are prompted with the Preview Changes dialog box. After that, click I accept in the License Agreement dialog box. And then we have to install the Entity Framework Core tools. This is very important to do the database migrations and other scaffolding tasks. Search for EFCore tools in NuGet Package Manager for Solutions and select Microsoft.EntityFramework Core.Tools and click Install. Make sure you select the latest version of 6.0. Then click OK. If you are prompted with the preview changes dialog box, click I accept in the license agreement dialog box. Now Entity Framework Core tools also installed in our project. So we are ready to go for the DBFirst approach. In Database First Approach, first and foremost, we need to create the models from the tables of the database. We can create models for all tables in one command, or we can create models for the selected tables. To create models from the tables, Entity Framework Core has provided a great command with many parameters in it. We will see one by one. The command name is Scaffold-DbContext. Let's see how to use this command. Now I am going to scaffold the tables with the mandatory parameters. So first go to the package manager console and type command Scaffold-DbContext. First parameter is provider. Here we need to pass the database provider name. Since we want to connect to the SQL Server database, we set this parameter to Microsoft.entityframeworkcore.sql server. Then the second parameter is connection string. I have provided the connection string to connect to my local database. Please notice here that the connection string is kept inside the double quotes. That's it. This is enough to scaffold the table from the databases. If we run this command now, it will extract all the tables as models to our project. But we don't want to extract all the tables of the database, because in the real-time database it may have hundreds or even thousands of tables. So we will extract only the tables which we need. The next parameter is output directory. If you don't pass this parameter, all the models will be created in the project's root folder, which is not a best practice. So we'll set this parameter to output dir as models. Then the next parameter is context directory. This parameter is used to set the DBContext file creation directory. Normally it's best practice to keep the DBContext inside the data folder. So we will set this parameter to data. After that, we are now going to add an important parameter. This parameter is responsible for creating the validation attributes to the property heads. The parameter name is data annotations. Next, we don't want to extract models for all the tables. So we are going to supply the table names which we want to extract. So let's add the parameter named tables and set the value of it to customers. Okay, now we have set values to all the parameters. Let's run the command and wait for it to complete. Wow, the command completed successfully. Don't worry about the allow notice text. It is warning us to secure the connection string of our database. Definitely we will secure. We won't keep it open. That's not now. We will do it later. Now I am interested to show the files created by the Scaffold-DbContext command. The first file to notice is DBContext file. This file is created inside the data folder because we set the context dir parameter to data. Then notice the onConfiguring method of the DBContext file. The connection string is hard-coded in this method, but we must remove this and keep it in a appsettings.json file. That we will do it later. Then after, notice the onModelCreating method. It has added a default value constraint property and set it to 0 string. Okay, that's it with the DBContext file. Let's move to the customer's model file. Now let's open the customer model which is created by the Scaffold-DbContext command. Notice the command has added the data annotations attributes to the property heads. This is because we have passed the parameter data annotations to the Scaffold-DbContext command. Then the next important thing to notice here is the not null assignment. This is called the null forgiving or null suppression operator. This says that the property cannot be null this is a new addition to .NET 6. Then after, notice here photo URL and phone number properties are nullable properties. Earlier strings will have default value of 0 length string. This used to be confusing during the client side jQuery validations. But now from .NET 6 you can have default value of null to the string properties. By the way, the source code of the project is uploaded to the shown URL. So read carefully and download the source code. This application has many advanced and useful features, so please watch completely. Many of the users are very nice and giving heartful comments. Thank you so much for that. You guys are really making my day and motivating me to make more videos. But some of you, or very few of you, are coming just to ask for source codes. So for them I am telling, I am releasing source codes with some videos. So if you want source codes, follow my channel and watch all the videos so that you can download most of the source codes. Let's create the customer controller. For that, select the controllers folder and right click and press add and then click controller menu. After that, select the third one, MVC controller with views using entity framework and click add. And in here, select the model class as customers. Make sure to set the data context class and generate views checkboxes checked. After that, click the add button and wait for the scaffolding tasks to complete creating the controller and dependent razor views. Sometimes it may take long time like 5 to 10 minutes, so be patient. Maybe you can have a tea in the meantime, but I have shrunk the video in the interest of time. That's it. Now the scaffolding task is completed. It has successfully created the controller with views. Let's take a look at the controller codes. There is nothing new here. We have done many advanced codes in our channel, so this looks very simple for us. But this time all the action methods are generated as asynchronous methods. But so far I have not released any video about asynchronous methods. For now, just copy as it is and don't worry too much about async keyword. I will soon release video on asynchronous methods and Ajax. Then after, that's it with the controller. Let's have a look on views folder. Notice the scaffolding task has generated all the required views to do CRUD operations like create, read, update and delete actions. But the scaffolding task has not created the menu links for the customer controller. So open the layouts.cshtml from the shared folder. In here, copy the home menu link and paste it below. After that, in the pasted menu, change the ASP-controller to customers and also change the menu text to customers. Now all set, let's build and run the application. After that, click the customers menu. Oh, errors. Nothing to worry about this error. Read out this error. It says unable to resolve the DBContext type because the scaffolding task has done only 80% of the work. The remaining work we have to do. Usually we used to map this DBContext type in the startup.cs file, but here we don't have the startup.cs file. So what to do? Very simple. Do it in the program.cs file. Open the program.cs file and scroll to the top and locate the line which creates the instance of the builder from the web application. After locating the builder, add the line builder.services.addDBContext. See, we have not added the hello world.data namespace to the using section. So open the DBContext file and copy the namespace and paste it to the global using section of the program.cs file. Now add the DBContext name to the angular brackets of the services.addDBContext method. Then after, in the parenthesis, add x lambda. Sorry, we forgot to add the entity framework core namespace. Because of that, many methods are not listed in the addDBContext. These all are extension methods and will get listed only when the namespaces are added in the using section. So add the Microsoft.entity framework core to the global using section of the program.cs file. Now add the x lambda, then x dot use SQL Server. See, now the method got listed. That's it. Let's build and run the application. Now click the customers menu link. Oh, errors again. But this time we get different errors. It says DB connection or connection string is not initialized or not set to the DB context. So open the DBContext file and locate the onConfiguring method. Look here, the database connection string is hard-coded in this method, but this connection string is inside the if condition which checks for option builder dot is configured. If it is configured, then this connection string will not be passed from here. So to fix this issue, we will copy this connection string and paste it in the program.cs file in the line which is creating the service instance of DBContext. After making the changes, build and run the application. Now click the customers menu. Please wait, it takes time because it is loading 14,000 plus records and we have not added the paging option so far. Wow, now the customers listing screen is loading. So our code is working fine. I don't want to load all the records on every request. So I want to restrict the fetch function to fetch only the first 5 records. So to do that, I am adding the skip command and the take command to the toList async method of the customer's entity. Okay, let's build and run the application again. Wow, this time it has loaded only 5 records. I mean the first 5 records. Now let's press the create new button and load the customer creation screen. Now I have filled all the details of the customer form. Let's press the create button. Notice the customer is not saved and it returned to the same screen. Actually some error happened, but that error is not passed back to the customer screen. So to pass the errors back to the customer screen, first of all we need to collect all the error information. So I am going to add a line which will collect all the errors and append it to a string variable named errors. After that, add the errors variable to the model state using the model state dot add model error. Then build and run the application. Again, I have filled all the data in of the recording. Let's press the create button. This time we should get the error message. Let's see what happens. Yes, we got the error message saying email ID field is required. My goodness, this buggy scaffolding task has missed to generate the email field. Let's open the create.cshtml. See, this does not have the email field at all. I really don't know why this scaffolding task missed it. It's okay, we will create by ourselves. So let's copy the phone number div and paste it below. After that, let's change all occurrences of phone number to email ID in the paste text. Okay, this time I have filled email ID column also of the recording. Let's click the create button. This time it should work. Yes, the customer data got saved finally. But believe me, this is the first time I'm experiencing a field missing error by the scaffolding task. I really don't know why it happened. Maybe I will try to regenerate the same issue in my research time. Then after, we will check the edit screen. Let's change the first customer data and save it. Yes, it got saved. The edit action method script is working fine. After that, we will check the detail screen also. Yes, this is also working fine. So, click the back button to go back to the listing screen. Then the last action to check is delete. Let's check the delete action also. Wow, delete also working fine. So all the CRUD operations are working fine. So let's add the paging and search functionality to this CRUD application before we wind up. Now I want to add the pagination and search logics to this CRUD. But I have already done a DBFirst CRUD with search and pagination. That application was developed in ASP.NET Core 3.1. So I thought of adding the same features to a .NET 6 Database First CRUD because there are little changes exist between both of them. This is the DBFirst CRUD application which I made in ASP.NET Core 3.1. In fact, this is an excellent tutorial which gave lot of views to my channel. So we will borrow the paging and search logics from this tutorial. But if you need the explanation of all the codes, I would suggest you to watch this video. I will keep the video link in the description box. Okay, let's copy the source code of pager.cs from the old project and paste it to the new .NET 6 project. Then after, let's copy all the other required files like partial views, etc. to this project. To do that, let's create a partial view and name it as pager. Notice it is always better to start the name of the partial view with a underscore character. Then change the model binding of the pasted code to pager. That's it. I have already displayed the source code link of this video, so please download it and enjoy it. Last, one more surprise. I have also zipped the database backup file of the database which I used with the source code. So restore the database backup file to your machine and run the code. This is the working code with free of errors. All the best. With this, I am completing this video. Before I sign off, I request you to subscribe and share this video. I would appreciate if you would like and subscribe to this channel so that you will be notified for all of the new videos that I will be posting. Thank you and bye for now.